From the News Channel 5 Network, this is MorningLine with Nick Beres.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on MorningLine. Nick Beres with you here on this Thursday. Good show on tap. We'll be taking phone calls as always. We'll get the number up there for you in just a moment, as we're going to be talking about the time of year comes around where a lot of us, not everyone, choose as you go about, but roll up your sleeves because we know it's cold and flu season. It's already getting cold. It feels like fall out there to me. And that means, I think, among other things, more of us will be staying indoors. So there's going to be more closer contact. Things spread. And of course, whenever this happens, health departments across the state encourage folks to go ahead and get a flu shot, a flu vaccine. A lot of businesses, in fact, News Channel 5 here just earlier this week had our little clinic here at the station where people could go and get their flu shots. And, you know, that and how it ties in with some of the other things we're looking at these days, be it COVID vaccinations, the boosters, along with monkeypox. We hear about that. Just taking care of yourself and in general, and how you can go about getting these if you choose to, and if you choose not to, why, or if you have questions and concerns, give us a call, because we're talking with the Chief Medical Director of the Metro Health Department. That would be one Dr. Gill Wright. Good morning to you,
Good morning.
sir. Thank you for coming on.
Sure, glad to.
I'd like to do this show every time of year right about now, which is really when it starts. Has the flu season officially started yet, or when does it technically range from until the end?
Right. Here in Davidson County, generally can start as early as late September. Okay. Generally goes through April, but more November to February kind of is the high points.
Yeah, so that's kind of then why you're recommended maybe to get the vaccine before you really hit that November time. So when you get it, like for instance, I had my shot a couple days ago, and the moment after I walked out of there after getting the vaccine, I was not inoculated against the virus had I run into it. How long does it take for those antibodies to build?
Right. Takes about 2 weeks.
Okay.
So, you know, you want to be far enough ahead that you get it at least a couple weeks before we start seeing an increase in cases.
Standard thing. What are you hearing about the flu this year? Lay it out for us. And maybe not just Metro, but just, I know you get the overview for the country and what we see. What's it going to be like?
Well, you know, because of COVID, we've all been masked up. We've all been indoors. So we really haven't had big flu seasons for the last couple years. So our immunities are down a little bit because of that. So looking at that added to what we're seeing in the southern hemisphere, which always precedes us.
Is that what we looked at? Gives us the window to what to expect?
Yeah, it does. And so looking at that, they've had a higher than normal rate this year. So we expect a fairly heavy flu season.
What is what are they saying about this strain or whatever? Because it changes every year, which is why we have to get a vaccine every year. What are we seeing? Is it a milder one? Is it a nasty one? What do you think? You know,
all of the flus are very similar as far as severity. So we're seeing, you know, people being sick for a period of time. It can be up to 2 weeks, generally about a week. Can have fevers, chills, muscle aches.
Sucks.
Yeah, it's no fun.
No, and it's safe to say what you end up vaccinating us for in the flu shot is what they think is the most prevalent strain, right? It doesn't mean you can get that shot and that'll protect you against the one that'll really knock you on your butt, like you said, for a week. But there are lesser strains that you could still encounter?
There are, in the flu shot, we predict what we think is going to be the predominant strains. Okay. So there's 4 strains in this.
Oh, okay, covered by it.
Yeah, covered by it. And we don't always predict completely right. So sometimes we'll see something that we didn't predict cause flu symptoms, different strain, and so those people tend to be, you know, tend to get it and be sick. It either prevents, the vaccine either prevents, or if you do get the flu, it's very mild compared to what it would normally be. So there are some people that will get a breakthrough, still have the shot, get a breakthrough, just like with the COVID vaccine.
Okay, and we'll touch on COVID and some of the other vaccines in a moment, but with regard to the flu vaccine, and again with these others, I just want to clarify for folks, because there will be some callers, or there will be people out there that some people have nothing against vaccines, but they've never gotten a flu shot, and in their mind, I've never gotten the flu, so I don't want to put something else in my body, and I respect that. Now, there are other people out there that believe the flu shot gives you the flu. So let's please hit that once again. And no matter what you say, sir, you know there are going to be some that simply won't listen because they read crap on the internet and believe it. So let's just be real clear about the flu shot.
Right. So getting the flu shot does not cause the flu.
It can't. Let's be real clear.
Right.
It can't.
It is a dead parts of virus.
Right.
So it can't combine and cause the flu. Most likely those people that do get symptoms after the vaccine probably got exposed just a few days before their vaccine and became sick before the vaccine, and you could build your antibodies to it.
Right.
So, or they just have a common cold that happens to be bad that they're calling the flu. You know, this only works for influenza. It doesn't work for the common cold and other things that we also see going around during the winter.
Okay. What kind of reactions, as rare as they may be, can some individuals maybe have to a vaccine?
Well, the most common is going to be just a sore arm where they got it.
Mine was basically sore, and I didn't even have any achiness. I was talking to another one of our producers this morning who had her shot 2 days ago as well, and she went home a little bit early yesterday. She just didn't feel quite right, and today she's back, feels fine. And we both agreed that was part of the symptom of that. So you might feel a little achiness. That's the most common.
That's most common. You can feel a little achiness. You can have some red and some swelling around the site. Those are pretty common. You could have a little bit of a headache, kind of get symptoms of very mild flu, aches.
But it should just be for 24 hours, maybe.
24 to 48 hours, typically.
Okay, and that's not every case. Like I said, I didn't have any of that. But are there any more severe cases? In the old days, I don't know how the flu, maybe you can give us a background on how this flu is manufactured. Remember the old days, they used to do it in an egg? Yeah. And if someone was allergic to egg, then maybe they could get an allergic reaction.
Right. So it is predominantly still egg-based.
No, okay. So I'm just wondering, I'm trying to envision, is this in the factory somewhere? Where is it made? In Asia or where? I don't know.
No, it's made here in the US.
Okay, they are here, but they get the idea of what the vaccine is needed here. Just a bunch of eggs out there and they...
No, it's much more involved.
More
than
involved
that.
now.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's just what they use as a medium, just like if you were growing mold on an agar plate.
On a petri dish or something.
Yeah. It just helps get the virus to grow.
So if you are allergic to eggs, what should you do?
There is a slight chance of being allergic to this, and talk with your doctor about whether they think that there's a risk for you. It depends on how bad your reaction is and other things.
Okay, and as far as the types of vaccines can you get, it's predominantly shot. Is there a mist that goes in the nose? Do they ever do that anymore? What I'm recalling
there is a nasal spray. It had been off the market, and I'm not sure if it's come back or not.
And I forget why it came about. I know some people are deathly afraid of needles, and if that's what keeps you from going, then maybe go ahead and get that. But I don't know if it's back on the market. But was it as effective, to your knowledge?
It was pretty effective. It was similar.
Well, I mean, given my druthers, if you say I'll give you a spray in your nose or a needle in your arm, I'll take the spray in the nose if it's all the same. Right. But as long as if it doesn't cost a lot more. As far as getting a flu vaccine, cost? How does it work?
For us, if we're doing it, it's $40 for the regular flu vaccine. It's $80 for the very concentrated that 65 and older should get.
It's a stronger.
Yes, it's a double strength, or it's a because their immune system doesn't work as well, so they have to give them more.
Okay, to build it up. And are there programs in place for those who are low income?
Right. Yes. So we have what's called 340B vaccine available, which is free for those that meet income requirements. We also will use health insurance if somebody has it, including TennCare. So that would also pay for it. Almost everybody's health insurance pays for preventative vaccines, and this is considered one of those. So a lot of places, or a lot of people will go to one of the local pharmacies. A lot of the local pharmacies are actually giving incentives kind of as a loss leader.
Yeah, oh really?
Yeah, they'll give a $5 coupon for in the store or something to get them in the door.
Yeah, check for that. That's not bad. And you did say that the stronger, vaccine maybe is for some of those seniors who have a weaker immune system, or anyone else who's immunocompromised. If you would, I mean, the sad fact is, you think about the flu and you're out for a week, you bounce back. But the flu does kill
Yes.
Thousands of people every year in this country.
Yes, it does.
Correct? And who are most likely to die from it, and what are they dying from specifically as a result of the flu?
Well, typically, the most likely is the age extreme. So kids under 2, and you can get the vaccine as early as age 6 months.
6 months, gotcha.
And then those in the 65 plus, and then those that have some sort of underlying immune problem.
So does it affect, ultimately, are they dying from lung congestion?
Yeah,
or what happens?
generally
It's breathing issues?
Usually it's breathing issues, and it just, they get a pneumonia, basically, that's viral, and can't get oxygen.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a pleasant way to die.
They can also get complications from, you get sick from that, and if you've already got kidney disease, your kidneys may shut down, or you've got heart disease, you could have a heart attack because of the stress on your body. So there are other things that can happen, but it's indirect.
Yeah, so no question, there's people, and you should know if it's you, that are high risk, and I would imagine in many of these cases, the vast majority of them, if you get vaccinated, you should be at least protected to a degree. You may get ill, but the deaths are preventable.
Yes.
Right? I
Yes.
mean, all those. I mean, how many of these? You look at it and say, if this person had been vaccinated, they'd be alive today.
Yeah. It's the average for the flu is about 0.2%, which would be about 2 out of 1,000 die
if they don't get a vaccine.
if they don't get it.
Okay, and when you add that up for the whole country, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
Doctor, stay right where you are. We got a lot to talk about. It's interesting stuff. I like going over this. If you have a question or comment about this or other issues pertaining to the Metro Health Department, or just questions, he's a doctor, right? 737-7587. Got more for you, sir, as we come back after this break. Stay with us.